Ahmad. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting these essays for you. Let's get right into this. This is about education, teaching in schools. Let's see what you wrote. Education is always a matter of fierce debate in society, especially the teaching methods in the schools, where some argue that entertainment should be inserted in the classroom, while others see that the main task of schools is to teach. I believe that making the education process more attractive is necessary to have high quality education. This essay will discuss both views, using examples from the ministries of education in the UK and Japan to demonstrate points and support arguments. Okay. On the whole, this is lovely. This is really very good. There were a couple of little things that I wanted to fix. Let me see what they were again. I'm going to just read it through really fast. Okay, it was this. This isn't really a full sentence. It's a fragment. And so what you should have done here is you should have put a comma and you should have continued the sentence with a lowercase e. Just because the especially there's no subject here. There's no it's not a full sentence, it's a fragment. Okay, so that needed to be changed. I do have a question as to why you're going to discuss both views. This essay doesn't ask you to. It asks you, if I'm not mistaken, to what extent do you agree or disagree. When that's the case, you don't need to talk about both sides. You can, and I always think it's a great idea to do that, but it's also important, if you are going to do that, to explain that you're going to do that and why you're going to do that. Because this is all about your position and not what other people think. So this is something we can talk about a little later. Let's continue and see what you said. Firstly, some education professionals insist on the importance of entertainment in classes. This is largely because it motivates students to learn more, which boosts their academic results. For example, a study done by the Ministry of Education in the UK shows that the students in schools that include interactive games in mathematics classes have up to 20% higher marks in this subject than the students at the other schools that follow the traditional ways of teaching. Therefore, adding entertainment teaching methods helps in improving the outcomes of the teaching process. Perfect. I have absolutely nothing to add to this. I thought you did great. Secondly, other teachers and school managers say that the role of school systems is teaching students and not entertaining them. That is because adding gaming activities to the classrooms will distract students from learning the core subjects. For example, research done by the Ministry of Education in Japan into middle schools, which have included fun activities in the curriculum, shows, that the marks of the students declined by 19% comparing with the students from schools S following the standard ways of teaching. Therefore, making the curriculums more entertaining causes a decline in the academic level. Okay. I'm a little concerned about that. All right, anyway, let's continue. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that teachers should utilize gaming-based activities in classes. It is predicted that in the future, more and more schools will make their curriculum more interactive. Okay. Grammatically, lexically, I thought this was great. I thought you did a wonderful job. It read really easily. It was easy to follow. And so I thought all of that was really well controlled. Your level of language was very, very good. So this is great. This is a great place to be starting. However, I did have some other concerns as far as task achievement and coherence and cohesion are concerned. So first of all, I already told you my concern about this. This essay asks you to what extent do you agree or disagree. It doesn't ask you to talk about both sides and give your opinion. If it had done this, then something along what you wrote here would have been fine. But since this is asking you just for your opinion, you need to present your opinion. I always encourage students to kind of take a more balanced view, but that requires you to explain that you're going to take a balanced view. And you absolutely need to do that from your introduction. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of these while sentences. And by that I mean, while it is true that XYZ, on the whole, I believe ABC. So if you want to go this route, this is a good habit of getting into. This way you can use talking about both sides of the essay in these to what extent do you agree or disagree essays, and it makes sense and it's clear from the introduction. So here I had a couple of issues. My first issue is that you're telling us that students learn more with these games and that boosts your academic results. You had this great example, and then fine. But then here you said that middle schools declined compared to other schools. So it kind of felt like you had two very, very similar examples, but they kind of contradicted each other. So that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. I didn't know if you realized it or if you didn't feel like it was a contradiction. So I'm happy to discuss it with you, but it did feel to me like it was a contradiction. Of course, you could have two studies that contradict each other, but I don't think that particularly helps you in the purposes of IELTS. I mean, you could have said that students enjoyed these classes more, or um, I don't know, but you had two very similar examples, and so I didn't really like that. The other thing that was problematic is your first and your secondly. This isn't really appropriate because you're talking about two different sides of the argument. So it should have been something like if you had to use one of these, you could have used on the one hand, on the other hand, something like that. Um, but yeah, not firstly and secondly. This is more appropriate when you're arguing the same side of the essay, okay, and not opposite sides. All right, so I thought this was lovely. As I said before, I would have liked maybe some more discussion about the kinds of entertaining activities. You talked about gaming. There's more. You could have talked about like other things that are entertaining in the classroom setting. So that would have been nice too. But like I said, on the whole, I thought it was good, but you have to work on those areas of task achievement that we talked about. Let's take a look at your second essay. This is the one about enjoyable activities with a child. Just so that you know, it's very, very important for me that you put the task and the way it's written directly on your file, whether that's a task one or a task two. It's very important to me to be able to refer to it, see what exactly you were asked and what that wording was. So just include them in your future essays, okay? All right, so let's take a look at this one. Play is one of the most important aspects of the child's life, especially the role it gives, okay, the role it plays in child development. This is not a full sentence. So let's clean this up so that you can make an appropriate grammatically correct sentence here. Play is one of the most important aspects in a child's life, uh, especially in terms of the role it plays in child development. All right, and you can make that one sentence and then it's perfect. For some, playfulness is more crucial than literacy in developing the capabilities of children, while others see the opposite. I strongly believe, that playing is more beneficial to child education than just reading books. This essay will discuss how play helps academic and emotional development of young people using examples from the University of London and Paris to demonstrate points to support arguments. Okay, that's nice. I like that. Let's see what you said. I have one concern. You're supposed to talk about skills and creativity here. So um, I I don't have a sense right now that you're going to, but it's something that I kind of have my antenna up to see if in fact you're going to do this. Let's see what happens. Firstly, educators can greatly enhance the academic level of students by utilizing playful activities in classrooms. That is because these activities ignite the sense of curiosity of the learners and motivate them to learn more. For example, a study done at the University of London shows that classes that follow a play-based approach in teaching children have stronger academic outcomes than the classes that do not use gaming at all. Therefore, the cognitive abilities of learners can be improved by creating a playful educational environment in school. All right, I kind of feel like you're talking exclusively about school, and this isn't really about school. This is about doing an activity with a child. And so, to my mind, this is always about like out out of school activities. So, post school, if you're doing something fun with a child, they can develop skills and abilities more than they can if they were just reading on their own, just, sitting and reading a book. So that's how I've understood this essay. I don't really understand it to be about school and what's happening in school. If they wanted you to limit it like that, they probably would have mentioned it. They would have used the word school in there. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's look at your next paragraph. Also, I'm not really a huge fan of this use of gaming. Like, I don't think gaming is a synonym for entertaining activities. gaming to my mind is also like computer games and that's it. So careful that you don't try to use a synonym, but really actually just limit yourself in terms of what you're saying. So let's move on. Secondly, children promote their emotional intelligence while they play with other people. That is because playing in groups requires social interactions such as cooperation, empathy, communication between the players. For instance, research done by University of Paris on the relationship between playing and emotional skills found that the children who regularly play with their peers or caregivers are more emotionally equipped than children who spend their time reading instead of playing. All right, that sentence was a little too long, but it's fine. Therefore, it is obvious that the gaming activities strengthen the emotional development of the children. Okay, let's try it again. Therefore, it is obvious that gaming activities strengthen the emotional intelligence of children. Again, I really disagree with the word gaming just because it has a very specific use, and I don't think it's appropriate in this sense. Okay, so let me see if I got this right. This paragraph is talking about cognitive abilities, and this one is talking about emotional development. Where are you talking about creativity? That's a big issue here because the essay asks you to talk about skills and creativity, which means that they want you to talk about both. Typically, students have one paragraph that talks about skills, and then they have another paragraph that talks just about creativity. But not having creativity is going to cost you task achievement. Okay, so just keep that in mind. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that children should be exposed to play-based activities during their developmental journey. It is hoped that in the future, school systems will increase playful activities in the education process. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, Ahmad, is that your language is really nice. You've got a lovely level of English, grammar, vocabulary. It's all very natural, very well controlled, very high level. So I'm really pleased. It's an enjoyable essay to read. What we have to do now is we have to pull all of this together. So we have to make sure that in addition to your grammar and your vocabulary skills, that you also have the appropriate task achievement and coherence and cohesion skills to get the score you need. I would like to know what score you need. That would help me kind of tailor my comments to you. So I'm seeing a lot of really good elements, but I want you to take into consideration some of the things that I've mentioned. Okay, go ahead and correct these essays, send them back to us corrected. Don't forget to begin your error correction list where you write the mistakes in the correct version and just keep adding to it with essays you get back from us. And then, of course, I'll wait for a new set of essays from you as well. So get all of this started and we'll meet back here with your next set. Good luck to you.